Okay, this next video is going to continue to explore on the high-level hitting pattern, the HLP. It's going to talk about some follow-up to the other videos I made. Right now we're going to put together barrel turn and coil and show you how that builds into your swing. Okay, so if you recall from the first video, we did barrel turn, so go back to that video if you don't know how to do that. Second video talked about how to get coiled properly in your rear hip, okay? So that when you turn this way, it brings you through. You'll notice that my barrel turn is a vertical movement. The coil and the rearward launch is a horizontal movement. It brings my bat around. So what happens when the two come together, you get this nice clean Nike swoosh that we see when the best in the world swing. You're here, I'm gonna launch rearward, and my hip's gonna snap me into the zone, and you'll see that nice swing pattern that all the best hitters in the world have. So marrying these together, we want to take this kind of in smaller steps, okay? So again, we're trying to take these things that are new and different for people to swing and just put them together in a way that it's simple to execute, okay? We want to get to a spot where when you're ready to hit a ball, when you're up to bat, you've got one thing to do, and that's just launch rearward, okay? When you do that, your hips will work, and you'll tilt, you'll get lateral tilt wherever you need to go. That will happen automatically. Your arms will let out, pull in, do what they need to do, but you don't have a lot of things to do. You can be ready to go. Guys on a pitch, and all you're thinking is launch rearward, and everything else will take care of itself. Later on, when you start to add in some momentum and different things like that, yeah, there's more that you need to build on. You need to make sure you don't break your swing pattern. But underneath everything will be these two elements, right? Of being coiled and having a rearward launch where I turn the barrel, okay? You want to add a leg kick, you want to add forward move, all that, that's fine. But underneath all of those things that you do needs to be these simple movements where you just launch rearward, okay? So what you'll notice is when I'm doing this, my hand pivot point's in sync with my hip, okay? And it's not so much that I'm doing this and doing this, two separate movements as one. And it looks like they're like almost like if I did it wrong, I could do this and then do this late. So it'd be like that, two moves. It's not two moves, okay? When you put these things together, when you barrel turn, if you recall, the last part of barrel turn is this lateral tilt, okay? So part of that is using your back muscles, okay, to swing and go backwards. And what happens is when I get coiled, I'm here and I'm going to launch back like this. I'm literally using my back muscles to pull back. And when I do that, it kicks my glutes into high gear, and they want to fire, and they extend my hip and they go. So I don't have two moves that I'm doing. I'm simply turning the barrel with my back. Okay? I'll try to get here, get them here. Like I can fake it and do things, but when it works right, I'm swinging with my back. So you'll notice the scat kind of digs in a little bit, okay? I'm pulled back and I launch rearward, okay? I use my back to do that motion, and when I do, it fires my glutes. When my glute fires, because my hips coil, it starts to turn me into the zone, okay? So when you start to put these things together, just start out very simple, okay? Don't try to swing hard. The harder you try to swing, the more you'll break the swing, okay? You'll always end up with an upper body swing. Don't do that, okay? Just start slow, get here, get coiled, and just swing with your back, launch it back, and feel your hips bring you through, okay? That's the first thing we can do, is just dry swing from that spot, feel it, okay? Feel it execute. Feel how your hip just turns you through automatically, okay? And just know when you're doing it right, you only have one thing that you're doing, right? Because you can coil whenever you want, okay? You can wait until he's winding up and then make coil part of your move. Or, I mean, if you wanted, you could just be coiled before he even starts pitching. Okay, so don't let coil be a thing that you have to do in the fractions of a second that a ball's closing in on you, okay? Take your time, okay? Get coiled ahead of time and be there, okay? So, tight, launch rearward. Now, when you start to get more advanced with this, you can start to build your coil into a place where it doesn't just come back and get stuck and get stopped, okay? So you'll notice we're going back and we're maxing out the range of motion in our hip. But you can keep pulling back, and when you do, because you can't go around anymore, your pelvis rocks back. So I can pull back. So I don't have to just come back and stop. I can come back and keep pulling back and keep pulling back, and it will turn me through. So you can start to develop some fluidity in this. But in the beginning, that's a little bit more of a complicated move. So just starting out with, just keep it simple. Learn how to turn the barrel, learn how to coil, put them together. Just get some dry cuts, see if it's working right, okay? If it's working right, then start to build some progressions into it. You know, something like, you know, start with the T in different zones and just find out how do you just launch rearward and get to every T location you want to hit, okay? Work the whole grid, okay? Go low out, go high in, you know, work all of the positions. Get comfortable launching rearward with all of those different ball locations, okay? Once you can do that, and this happens pretty fast, because honestly, once you learn how to rearward launch and turn the barrel, it gets super easy to get to all of those locations. Then just have somebody start side tossing balls to you. Same thing, rearward turn through it. Again, don't try to kill everything. The harder you try to swing, the more your swing mechanics will break down, okay? Just keep it simple. Yeah, you want to go hard, but go hard on the backside, not hard into contact, okay? At the end of the day, when you launch rearward, we want to continue this rearward movement in the contact, okay? There's a lot of people that once you start seeing a moving ball coming at you, they'll launch rearward and then they'll come get the ball. Okay, that's an easy failure mode that people do all the time. So what we want to do as we start to build a BP progression and people are, you know, pitching to us, you know, slower speeds and things like that, make sure that you are driving into contact with your pullback. Okay? I'm gonna break something. But hopefully that makes sense. We do not want to be putting power into the ball with our arms. Okay? Because as soon as we start putting power in the ball, we had to pick a location. We lost our adjustability at that point. Okay? We want to stay adjustable all the way into contact. The way to do that is to go into contact by pulling back. See, I'm not done yet. I'm going to keep pulling back all the way into contact. Let that pullback drive you through the ball, okay? So once you can do that clean, I would recommend, especially if you have a problem where you need to roll over, just build a progression and never roll over if it's a problem for you. Just come here, snap stop to this location, we can take it further, okay? Here, snap stop out front, again, I'm not rolling over. So if rollover is a problem, and it's a problem for some people, just don't roll over, okay? I think you watch some videos of Mike Trout hitting, he doesn't roll over in a lot of his cuts. So, you know, you don't have to finish with this movement. I mean, some people will flow through naturally, but some people, that feeling of having to do that will make them do it out front. And they'll roll over here instead of driving all the way through the ball. So hopefully that helps marry things together a little bit. I know I didn't show many drills. I don't think you'd want to see me doing drills. But at the end of the day, you know, making this mechanic work, it's not about having a whole bunch of drills, and you know, you do step one, you do step, you know, it's not quite conducive to a cookie cutter approach that simply. Hopefully by now, the one thing you realize, it's very mentally intensive. You have to do some things very differently than if you were taught a straight exit velocity swing. Okay, you need to be launching rearward and turning into contact. That's not natural for most people. They were never taught that way. So the biggest thing I can recommend, again, take your time, learn how to turn the barrel, learn how to do it clean, do it from a hand slot that works well, okay? And verify with video, make sure you're not dragging your bat across your body. If you go to swing and you see hands coming way in front of your hips, well, you've got an upper body swing, okay? If you're launching rearward and your hip is what's bringing you around, well, that's good. So you can look for that. If you see that you are racing across your body, you got to make some changes, okay? A lot of times, again, I talk a lot about handset. I talked about it in the first video. If you're really struggling from the barrel position, either behind your head or in your neck slot, and you keep pulling into contact, get the barrel out front and tip it this way towards the pitcher. From there, it's really hard to push into contact. So I recommend that a lot. It fixes a lot of flaws. From here, you've got to turn the barrel, okay? You just can't not do it. So I'd recommend doing something like that. I think for now I've covered most of the topics to get you started. I'm sure there are a lot of questions and a lot of things you don't understand. There's probably a lot of things I didn't explain very well, or there's gaps. You know, if there are, leave comments, and I'll see if I can make another video to help fill in some of the issues or questions that you might be having. But for now, I just wanted to build a basic set of videos that, you know, I can share with people, and you'll have something to grow with. At the end of the day, all of this swing mechanic is a product of TeacherMan's, or, you know, Rich, his swing mechanic that he self-taught. Years and years of work, you know, just watching video, trying to replicate it. Can't say enough good things about him. Everything I know about this, you know, has been through what he's helped teach me and help me work through. My swing before we did this was not pretty at all. I'm not gonna say it looks the best right now, but it looks a lot better than it did in the beginning. So anyway, take your time, watch the videos. If what I'm explaining doesn't help you, you know, get on Rich's Patreon site. Okay, go to Patreon, search out TeacherMan. He'll pop up in the list. Enroll in his videos. He's pumping out videos all the time, and they are fantastic. You know, check out his Twitter feed. I think he's on Cloutub now. Check him out there. So anyway, a lot of good resources out there. Just make sure you're watching the right people, because there are some people that got a little lost along the way. All right, well, that's all I have. Thank you.